Let's see if I'm on. Oop. You do this. Okay, nice, I am on. So, hey guys, welcome to Agile Coaching in the Age of AI number 8. So, I've created these streams so that we can have a better understanding of how Agile impacts businesses in general, and how business agility impacts business results. So my name is Ovi, and I'm an Agile coach. I've been doing Agile coaching for quite some time, and there are a few things that have plagued me over the years. So basically, I've been trying to figure out how does my work, the fact that I work with teams to put in Scrum, release faster, do test-driven development, do all of these things. How do these impact the economic model of a business? And what I'm trying to do now is I'm trying to make sure that we have a model that explains how these different ways of working and different things that Agile coaches do with their teams and Agile software development teams usually implement will impact the business bottom line. Now, last time the AI created this, I tried to create a model with Fable, and that one sucked. So I'm right now working with Copilot to create these models. So what I've done for the past hour is I've reviewed the model that Copilot generated last time. So what we're doing now is we're trying to figure out, let's say we are a telecom company and we are selling different services like subscriptions to phones, to TVs, to headsets, etc., etc. And let's try to figure out what would be the impact of us working in Agile versus working in Waterfall versus working in hybrid. And I've been looking through the model that AI has generated, and I've given it some feedback right now. We are going to go through the model. So I'm going to go through the model with you guys, and I'm going to also go through the feedback. What I noticed is that Restream actually has this chat. I don't know how this works, but we'll see. Chat settings. Sure. Okay, cool. So I hope this works relatively well. Okay, but coming back to what we were discussing, so this is the last model that it generated. I do believe there are some flaws within the model, but let's quickly review what it did and what it created. So basically the board question. So in large enterprises, we have something that's called the board of directors. So basically it's the C-suite level, the people that are making the strategic decisions within the company. The board question is, what is the measurable difference between releasing infrequently with telemetry and releasing frequently with telemetry, fast feedback, fast recovery? Now, while this covers DORA, I don't think this covers OKRs. So I'm actually also going to add this as feedback. So I'm going to give it as feedback for the AI. I'm using GPT 5.6 Think. It's actually the uh, the model available in Copilot. Again, the reason why I'm using it is because I tried, I think it was GPT 5.5 and Fable, and GPT 5.5 actually created the model that I wanted, and Fable bombed. So I don't know what tests people are running, but basically it didn't work. I don't know why people are saying that Fable is so good. Again, I've been using it. I've used it for I think a month and a half, and I have to say I'm not impressed. But again, maybe my standards are way too high for what the model can do. Anyway, so this is the board question. I think it has to be changed. I think it's not only releasing infrequently, but releasing and correlating releases with clear objectives and key results, measurable key results. And I think the hybrid model shouldn't have OKRs in general. Okay, casual claim, release cadence directly changes time to market, number of observable learning opportunities, negative exposure, duration, and time remaining to earn benefits. So basically what we're trying to say is that nothing that you release will be 100% positive, right? So some things will be positive, some things will be negative, some things will be neutral. And the key aspect is, if you release faster and if you are very, very clear on what you're trying to solve, this is the OKR part, then iteration cycles will actually increase your chance of reaching the OKRs. I'm going to write this to AI. So the hypothesis we are trying to figure out is this. If we are clear on what we want to change, OKRs, and how we will measure the impact of what we change, then we will, and if we can iterate through those changes, we will have a better chance of reaching OKRs. Our business goals. No 100% guarantee, right? All right, so I'm trying to put it in the right direction. Okay, deployment frequency alone does not guarantee revenue. That's actually the point, because customer relevance, telemetry. So for those that don't know the term telemetry means that you are measuring within your software different decision points, the customer funnel, everything that relates to the customer. So it's different metrics that you have within the software that will give you a good idea of what the customer does, what are the stoppage points, how effective your funnel is, decision quality, outcome distribution. Okay, model design. So we have 3 scenarios, 72 change units through an 8-team ecosystem. They differ in batch size, release timing, telemetry, lead time, change failure rate, recovery time. Scenarios: 3 releases in waterfall, 6 releases in hybrid, and 4 ecosystem releases per month in Agile. So 72 over 18 months. Value logic, earlier positive changes earn value for more months. Telemetry produces evidence. Neutral negative evidence can redirect future capacity. So negative changes reduce conversion until rollback and fix. Financial views, input selector, first invoice, or 4-year customer. All right, so we can look at the first invoice or the customer lifetime value, which is going to be this. Delivery and incident labor costs are included, and then what we are doing Monte Carlo simulations. So for those that don't know about Monte Carlo, it's one of the ways that you can actually assess future scenarios based on probability, and then you have 1,000-seat simulations, right? Expected, downside, upside, and it's snapshot in the current assumptions. Then we have a truth statement. This workbook proves arithmetic implications of explicit assumptions. It's not universal causation, right? So company-specific evidence requires telemetry, control releases, cohorts, and decision logs. And then editing, change blue cells on assumptions, core monthly sheets, and board summary recalculate, relearn Monte Carlo generator when probability assumptions change. All right, cool. So we have a bunch of assumptions here. What we need to do, again, I've looked at them, and so looked at the evidence and gave feedback to AI. We're going to review the feedback. Now the board summary is interesting because what shocked me the last time was that the economic value difference is not that high between Agile and Waterfall, and I was expecting it to be higher. But then I figured out a few things that the model did. So in Waterfall, for example, the net conversion stays the same, stays at 20% until the first release, and then it jumps to 25%, which I personally think is not correct. So I challenged AI on this. Let's see how it will work. In my experience, the way Waterfall works is basically you release something, it sucks, and then you kind of iterate your way through it, and at some point you kind of make it a little bit better. So that's one of the things that I told AI I don't agree with. Now the same remark here with hybrid. So the same remark, like it just jumps, and I don't think it's a good accurate way of doing it. And with Agile we see a gradual increase up to 28%. But one of the interesting things that I saw and I didn't see last time, and this is a good thing to take into consideration, and I'm trying to I would like to actually move this also to the board summary, because what we see in the board summary is the median. So 3.9, 4.4, and 4.99. But the downside in Waterfall and Agile is very, very different. That's one of the key aspects. The other thing that's very different is the upside. In general, the big difference is like 1 million between them. So basically implementing Agile would give a company with these numbers a 1 million euro revenue upside. 1 million plus. So that's basically it. There's the causal chain. So we have multiple deliveries, we have telemetry, we have evidence and decision cadence, CFR recovery time. So they get a penalty. Like in Waterfall, you get a penalty for long long times to solve issues, slow rollback, etc. And then you have the Pareto values for Moscow. Now, a few things that I told AI that I wanted to kind of change, and apart from these things, so the third thing is I want the distributions in the Monte Carlo to be in the board summary, because the ranges I think are actually a bit more telling. Actually, they seem relevant. All right, let's see what it answered, and I will also work with it. You are mostly correct. The current model overstates conversion and growth and needs redesign. Okay. By the way, I actually asked it if it has counter arguments. Telemetry and outcome probabilities. Okay, without telemetry, each change remains with the assumption. Outcomes occur, but management cannot reliably distinguish them. Consequently, the next release would not benefit from validated learning. With telemetry, the current release underlying probability should not magically improve. Instead, telemetry improves further release selection. Observe evidence, decision quality, action rate, probability improvement for subsequent changes. Experimentation requires hypothesis, defined measures, observation, conclusions. Telemetry supplies the evidence needed to evaluate variance. Okay, proposed probability evolution. Next, positive probability equals current plus learning gain. Okay, and learning gain equals telemetry coverage, evidence quality, decision action rate, learning coefficient, and learning improvement headroom. Okay, so basically it's saying that you have kind of a learning headroom, and then as it goes it kind of okay. Neutral receives 0 value, negative receives negative value minus impact magnitude, customer exposure duration, customer value. Its evidence may still prevent future losses, but that avoided loss value must be modeled separately, not distinguished as positive revenue. Okay. How do you suggest we do that? Okay, so I think it's fair to say that I had some feedback on it. So it replied to this feedback. Reallocation value per neutral negative evidence. So it's this part here in the assumptions. So what it said that when you have neutral negative evidence, you only have like a fraction of the positive unit value. But I challenged this assumption because I think that when you have a negative release, you actually have a negative release. So piece of release will be subject to go from positive to negative to neutral. Also, telemetry should impact the ratios. The more telemetry you have, so this was the answer to this point, the better you can control the positive negative scenarios. So basically you're kind of learning everything as you go, and also the smaller your releases, the better you can contain the negative value. So let me tell you what I think and tell me if it's correct. If you don't have telemetry, I'm releasing in blind. This means that 33% is across all three scenarios. If you have telemetry, I think the percentages would change. So it basically replied and said, yes, this is true. The second thing that I said, how did you get to 20 to 25 in waterfall? This is at least unexpected. The cycle is usually release, bad customer experience, multiple retries, some value, but not the expected value. So basically this is like every waterfall project I've seen has this. The only people that don't have it, that are waterfall guys, are those that actually focus on customer value, and that's more of an agile mindset than a waterfall mindset. Same question for hybrid. How come it jumped so high? So it replied and said, what did it say? The model overstates conversion growth and needs redesign, right? So it kind of agreed with me. Again, take AI agreement with a pinch of salt, because if you push it a little bit, it will give you what you want. So does this mean that this is truthful or that this is right or correct? I don't think that's true. I think there are a lot of variables when you're trying to make a business work, but in the end, what you're trying to do as much as possible is to make sure that you're taking the right decisions based on a good data set. And now, if you don't have a good data set, which I think that most people in Agile don't have right now, then you should just, kind of invent something and try to put in some numbers. It's better than not have any number at all. Okay. Also, if you introduce cross-sell opportunities, so this was some research that I did. Now these websites are going to be in Romanian because I'm a Romanian guy. I don't know if I can translate this in English. Trying to do this. Translate to English. All right. So every telecom provider does have some. All right. They do have some cross-sell and upsell opportunities. These guys are, in my opinion, the best at this cross-sell and upsell because they have a very good offering. So they have subscriptions, live TV, telephones, refurbished phones, pay cards, insurance, covers, headphones, speakers, smartwatch, gaming, smart home, television, tablets, notebooks, modern routers, chargers, protective films, cables. I mean, their cross-sell opportunity is amazing. And these guys are kind of in the middle. These are the three main providers in Romania. I don't know how these are in your English. All right. So basically they have services, again, TV and television. They have a few things that are selling. So they're kind of in the middle between these guys and these guys. So again, not trying to make anybody say that one of them is better than the other. It's just that for our scenario here, it's also interesting to see that marketers and business people, the more they interact with customers, the more they start seeing these cross-sell and upsell opportunities. So basically what I said is that, for example, headphone, TV, external battery offerings, this could easily 4x or 5x the customer LTV, right? So can you introduce that in the mix? So what I would like to have is, after 6 months, basically business people will have this idea of, hey, we can actually maximize the customer LTV, and that's how it's going to be. Now, what I said is 20% most valuable LTV increase. actually reveals itself after 6 months, after the start of the 8-month period, right? Or maybe I can do it after 7 months, so that waterfall loses 2 LTV opportunities. Let's do after 7 months. Just want to know. All right. Also, I don't see the OKR impact, so this is something that I communicated to it. All right. Let's see what it says. Smaller releases contain downside. Correct. A release should contain individually evaluated change units. Batch sizes affect the blast radius, expected, negative, blah, blah. 24 can combine several positive, neutral, negative changes without telemetry. Attribution is weak, and rollback may reverse positive changes along with negative ones. 1 unit makes the attribution rollback substantially cleaner. Progressive deployment and measurement with smaller audience can identify issues before broad release. Okay, why waterfall was increased? It was a modeling defect. The workbook accumulated the expected positive share of every release unit without telemetry. All right, undetected negative outcomes, weak attribution. Okay, so it's basically saying that I spotted a flaw in the model. My ego is getting a boost, but again, I don't know if this is correct. I mean, we'll have to see. So waterfall received predictable positive value merely for releasing scope. That contradicts the argument we are testing. Hybrid jump has the same problem. It receives deterministic accumulation. The revised model should be closer to. All right, realized outcome equals positive effect minus negative unresolved uncertainty incident. All right, you should not assume implementing more features automatically increases conversion. Good. Pareto and alignment. Your distinction is important. Moscow describes the prioritization intent, does not prove that must contain 80% of the market value. In waterfall, 20% must category remains primarily executive hypothesis with telemetry and frequent delivery teams progressively deliver. Okay, this is good. Therefore, replace a fixed Pareto curve with the concepts assumed value concentration, what leadership believes, the critical 80% of the value, and validated value concentration, what the customer evidence reveals is producing outcomes. Waterfall will have low ability to reward their work based on evidence. Agile can move validated highly value changes. All right, OKR impact. All right, OKR should not receive an arbitrary revenue multiplier. Their causal combination should be through decision quality. Okay, OKR alignment, higher outcome relevant change share, better telemetry selection, faster decisions, greater reinvestment in validated value. All right, better probability of reaching the objective. Okay, OKRs provide share priorities, measurable results, but low scores should remain learning information, not manufactured success. Okay, cool. So I suggest 4 editable refactors. Goal, alignment, change rate, percentage, goal alignment, change rate, percentage of changes explicitly connected to a key result. Okay, outcome measurement rate, percentages with telemetry measurement, measuring the intended result. Okay, evidence, action rate, percentage of findings that trigger stop, adapt, or scale decisions. All right, cool. So decision latency, time between evidence becoming available, and management tactic. All right, waterfall might produce many requirements, but relatively low outcome alignment and evidence action. Agile is not automatically better, and Agile only receives an advantage when these practices are genuinely implemented. We do agree on that, sir. We are assuming that these practices are correctly implemented. I didn't check my all right, it's good, it should be good. Okay, cross-sell and LTV. Add a separate LTV expansion engine activated for month 7. Oh, cool. So it actually started this. Perfect. Okay. Expansion opportunity, active acquired customers, cross-selling eligibility, offer exposure, acceptance probability, incremental product margin, and remaining customer lifetime. Okay, cool. Possible gathering, phone, headphones, television, additional telecom packages. I can give you more. Let's use this. This is quite some bundle. Actually, it's enough. Maybe not enough. All right, cool. So all right. So okay, telemetry should influence customer segmentation quality, offer relevance, acceptance probability, speed of shopping offers, narrative. Make the poor okay and upper bound, not the default expected. Okay. Counter arguments. Telemetry does not automatically improve ideas, improves visibility. Leaders must still accept unwelcome evidence decisions. Yeah. I don't know. Does this affect the model in any way? All right. More releases create noise. Insufficient sample size can produce unreliable conclusions. Each change needs suitable exposure, measurement, duration, and significance. All right. Again, maybe I can just say this. Let me see what else. OKRs create gaming. OKRs can be performance targets. Team may select weak metrics, manipulate scope. They should guide decisions. Okay, waterfall can still be appropriate. Some infrastructure, regulatory, irreversible changes, extensive coordination. However, discovery, telemetry, simulation, stage rollout, technical validation can still shorten feedback. Recommendation, reverse chain. All right, revise chain. Outcome relevant changes. Release cadence, size, telemetry and evidence, positive, neutral, steps, adapt, scale, improved probability for future, conversion, and net economic. Okay, this is stronger than claiming Agile generates more revenue. It demonstrates that business agility improves the organization's ability to discover value, contain downside, and redirect investment based on evidence. All right, this is what I wanted to see. You can split between business agility and technical agility. Business agility equals OKRs plus small releases plus stories plus what is it, plus telemetry. So again, telemetry is the measurement of the web applications or the mobile applications. Well, technical agility equals DevOps plus XP plus their derivatives. I don't know. I think that this. So basically, this is kind of it. This is how I split between the two. So I think business agility is something that's different from technical agility, and I think agile coaches should practice both if they want to give great business results to their organizations. All right. Before we update the model, can you draw me a picture? Right. Any questions? So I usually ask AI about questions. The reason why I ask AI about questions is because it sometimes works with faulty data, sometimes always works with faulty data, unless you ask it to clearly say or to ask you a few things that it might not know. The reason is very simple. It's the same communication that you have with humans. Like, you assume that you've communicated well, they assume that they understood very well what you've said, but the reality is that no, communication is faulty. Your assumptions may not be correct, their assumptions may not be correct. So going through a round of questions is usually much better than just asking it to execute. Okay, clear OKRs improve investment focus and measurement. Business agility increases learning frequency. Technical agility shortens delivery and recovery. Okay, together these increase but do not guarantee the probability of achieving the business goals. Avoid loss value model separately. Avoid feature loss, detecting negative changes, probability management text, expected reported loss, releases remaining. This appears as risk avoided, not value created. Okay, counter arguments affecting the model. Yes, weak statistical evidence, reduce evidence quality. All right, management ignoring data, reduce action rate, local optimization, apply guardrail penalties, poor telemetry, increase false decision probability, release overload, increase change failure rate probability, cross-sell catalog images and subscriptions, refurbished phones, etc. We can model these as one portfolio with editable margin and adoption assumptions, not individually initially. Okay, I'll move the Monte Carlo mean probability of reaching the OKRs directly into the executive summary. Proposed capability split, business agility, OKR clarity, goal aligned change rate, small stories, telemetry coverage, evidence quality, decision action rate, decision latency, delivery frequency, change lead time, change failure rate, recovery time, automated testing, CI/CD, progressive releases, and rollback. So basically here, these two are actually the bread and butter of agile coaching. Like, if you want to be a great agile coach, you have to understand both these two aspects. At least this is my take. I don't know. Every person thinks differently about these things. But in my experience, people that understand just one side of the coin are not able to really make an impact. If you want to make an impact, you have to understand both. Some teams will benefit from this, other teams will benefit from this, and most teams will benefit from implementing both. All right, remaining questions. When telemetry identifies negative outcomes, should the negative change be removed before the next release? What does this mean? Should the negative change be removed before the next release? According to the there was a metric that it said according to lead time for changes. So in the so they can be corrected. It's not lead time for changes. No, that's not it. According to the recovery time. Recovery time. All right, within each model, so they can be corrected before the release. But not before the recovery time. All right, cool. Second question. Should positive probability have a ceiling, perhaps 60%? Yeah. Why not? 3. Cross-sell uplift. Use an editable LTV multiplier. Sure. Just make the multiplier random within the Monte Carlo simulations. All right, 4. Should cross-sell discovery start in month 7 for every scenario or only after sufficient telemetry? Every scenario. Yeah, just wanted to have a level playing field. Should OKR quality start at 20% for waterfall hybrid and agile 80%? Nope. It should start at 20% for waterfall. This is good. No improvement over time. 30%, no, 20% for hybrid. Actually, wait. Hybrid, waterfall and hybrid don't use OKRs, so their quality is automatically 0%. In Agile's case, we can start with a 20% OKR quality, but it will increase every month. Any other questions? No further questions. I'll update the model. Okay, final hypothesis becomes correctly implemented OKRs improve investment alignment, business agility accelerates validated learning and adoption, technical agility accelerates safe delivery and recovery. Together, they increase, not guarantee, the probability of achieving business outcomes. All right, this looks good. I'll update the model using the rules. Negative outcomes remain active until scenario-specific recovery completes. Learning telemetry improves subsequent outcome odds, capped at 60% positive. Okay. Neutral outcomes, 0 direct economic effect. Negative outcomes, direct customer value loss plus incident cost. All right. Avoided loss reported separately from generated revenue. Cross-sell begins month 7. Monte Carlo selects 1 to 5 LTV potential. OKR quality 0% waterfall and hybrid starts at 20%, improves monthly. All right. Executive summary includes mean, P90 and OKR achievement probability. So this one is not going to be OKR, it's going to be business objective achievement probability. All right, before you update the model, create a picture with the hypothesis. All right, let's see what it does. So it's a really nice thing to do, and especially for an agile coach, creating an economic model is actually very good, because you start understanding the correlations between what you do every day and what you teach people to do every day, and the language of the business, because they talk financial terms, they talk KPIs, they talk resources, they talk differently than agilists do. And the reason why many agile transformations actually fail is because, in my opinion, again, this is my opinion, because agile coaches cannot get themselves to become relevant to business people. All right, let's see what it created. I think this is quite a complicated file right now, but let's see what we have here. So the hypothesis: if we are clear on what we want to change and how we will measure the impact of that change, OKRs, and if we can iterate through those changes, we have a better chance of reaching business goals. Not 100% guarantee. Outcomes depend on quality of execution, learnings, market response, and external factors. Chain of causality. All right. Clarity and alignment. Business agility. OKRs define what matters, why it matters, and how we measure the success. Clear objectives, outcomes, key results, measurable, prioritized by impact, shared across teams. All right, this is cool. Small bets and delivery. Business plus technical agility. Break value into small releasable increments, small stories, features, frequent synchronized releases, minimize batch. Measure and learn. Business agility. Instrument every change, collect customer data, telemetry and analysis, experiment and control, evidence, quality, insight generation. This is actually really nice. Decide and adapt. Business agility. Turn evidence into decisions quickly. Stop, continue, pivot, scale. Prioritize highest impact. Reallocate resources. Reduce uncertainty. Fast and safe delivery. Technical agility. Deliver changes quickly and recover quickly then when things go wrong. High deployment frequency. Low lead time. Low change failure rate. Fast recovery time. All right, better decisions, faster learning, lower risk, improves results, higher conversion, lower time to yes, higher LTV, cross-sell, lower risk. All right, let's see what we have here. Business agility, how we make better bets, OKRs, outcomes over output, goal alignment, Moscow prioritization, small stories, telemetry, coverage, evidence quality, decision latency, outcome feedback loops. All right, cool. Learning velocity, value realization, technical agility, CI/CD pipeline, automated testing, observability, experimentation framework, feature flags, progressive delivery, DORA metrics, deployment frequency, lead time for changes, change failure rate, mean time to restore, stable, reliable systems, low cost of change. All right, what else do we have here? All right, business results, revenue growth, acquisition, cross-sell, higher conversion rate, lower time to yes, higher customer lifetime value, 1 to 5x potential, low cost of delivery, lower risk, volatility. And we have two forms of value: created value, revenue margin, and LTV; avoided value, losses prevented by early detection and correlation. All right, so low agility, infrequent releases, no telemetry, slow feedback, slow recovery. Decisions made in the dark, hypothesis only, large batches, many changes together, long feedback loops, weeks, months, high risk exposure, longer recovery, uncertainty persists, results are luck driven. Expected outcome, more negative neutral outcomes go undetected, longer time to learn and adapt, higher cost of failure and rework, lower probability of achieving business objectives. All right, how agility, frequent releases, telemetry, fast feedback, fast recovery, high agility. All right, decisions with data, evidence-based, small changes contained risk, fast feedback loops, days, hours, low exposure, fast recovery, continuously improving, better outcomes. Expected outcome, issues detected early and fixed quickly, more validated learning events, higher quality decisions and reallocation, higher probability of achieving business objectives. So basically this is truly my hypothesis here. Key assumptions in the model: 33% positive, neutral, and negative per change without learning. Neutral equals no economic impact, negative equals -1 value. Telemetry improves feature odds up to 60% positive gap. Smaller releases contain negative impact. Recovery time differs by model. Okay, Agile, Hybrid, and Waterfall. Cross-sell opportunities start in month 7, 1x to 5x, and Monte Carlo simulation 1,000 runs. OKR quality maturity, Agile scenario 20%, 30%, 45%, 60%, and then you have 85%. Waterfall and Hybrid, OKR quality is 0, no outcome alignment system. Okay, executive summary: mean, P10 downside, median, P90 upside, business objectives. I think it's achievement probability here. What can I say? AI. Okay, shown for each scenario in the model, net euros value. Yeah, this is pretty much it. I agree with everything that's in here. All right, so I'll give this. Can I save and copy? Can I share? Okay, I'll try to share it now. I don't think nobody wrote. All right, that's good. Actually, I'll share it after. All right, buddy boy. Looks good. Go ahead and update the model. So again, I'm not expecting that these models are going to be great. Again, we have no real life data, and also we don't know what implemented properly would mean. So but we can make some assumptions, and we can try to play with those assumptions and try to figure out what would be the best decisions based on hypothetical models, and then try to see what you can implement and how you can implement them in real life. What I did like about this model, and this is just me, but it perfectly aligns with the way I believe things are happening in businesses. I mean, I've worked in this model. It's bad. I've worked in models that are not exactly this, but they are somewhat similar or closer to this, and they are good. All right, let's see, taking a look. Okay, Mr. Copilot. Coding and executing. All right, it's starting to do its work. I did give it a lot of input, so hopefully it will not hallucinate, or it will, All right. Generated model 3, OKR quality effects, goal alignment, change section, telemetry improves, neutral outcomes, negative outcomes, losses, avoid the losses separated from created value, cross-sell begins, executive summary. Let me see what it did. All right, so readme. Okay, so the first thing that I need to do is this. Okay, cool. All right. But it did something that I didn't want it to do. There's no board question anymore. And I actually liked these. And the board question, okay. Okay, cool. Let's see what it did. So the net value is pretty similar to what we had in the last time. There's nothing crucially different. The downsides and the upsides are different. All right, the slightly better higher improvement. All right, let's see what we have here. Okay, this is slightly better. Let's see what we have here. The probabilities increase in hybrid. Probabilities start slowly increase. So there's not a lot of change actually. Agile avoided loss. Oh, okay. So we have a lot of Agile avoided losses. Fine. Assumptions. Why are these points like this? I think this is actually the problem. Absolute points. This is something that I don't understand. Why are they not the same as they used to be? Here the point was 0, 1, fraction of positive voided waste. Why are these so low? All right. All right, these are good. Cross-sell opportunities, cross-sell, business objective, target. All right. Why is this better with hybrid? All right, we are spotting some problems. Learning coefficient. Okay, attendance rate, recovery hours. All right, it's fine. It's fine. And maybe it's interesting if we can you extend the model on a 24-month period, not an 18 month. I don't know why I chose 18. I think somebody said that 18 months, but it should be like this. All right, cool. Again, don't expect anything that AI does to be great. You have to inspect it, and you have to why is this created conversion effect? What does this mean? Incident loss, net conversion. Let's see here. Again, these are very low. right, and Agile, what we have here. Positive units, neutral units, negative units, right, created conversion effect, okay, negative conversion rates, avoided future losses, incident loss, net conversion. Okay, so net conversion dropped from 28 to 26. Here it's about 23, and here net conversion is again 23. Why did it jump to 24? 23, you have a lot of 24. So it's more than hybrid, and that's very, very unexpected. Let's see what it applies. Asymmetric assumptions, unintentionally in favor of waterfall. All right. Why I removed I replaced while restructuring the workbook instead of preserving and extending it. That was a mistake. Original statements should return. All right. Revised board stuff. Okay, cool. Core hypothesis correctly. Okay. Why it was used means 4 percentage points. Okay, for example, baseline conversion. Okay, I selected it as a conservative synthetic assumption, not from evidence. There's no benchmark. Okay, y0 1, it means 10 percentage. Okay, 72 units would rapidly exceed. Okay, cool. I recommend representing absolute effect. Okay, each Monte Carlo could draw a random impact magnitude rather than change. Okay, why displaying created. Okay, 20 model created. Fine, that means 4 percentage point conversion. This is too optimistic because the entire first branch. Okay, positive effects, accumulated negative effects were heavily reduced by recovering time scaling. Waterfall received predicted positive value without telemetry. Bundled changes. Okay, therefore the screenshot showing waterfall rising from 20 to 24 reflects flawed model mechanics, not defensible. Okay, why negative effects are much smaller? The scale is negative. Okay, negative temporarily heavily diluted. Meanwhile, the positive effects remain indefinitely. This is an unfair asymmetry. Well, not necessarily. So, okay, yeah, it is an unfair symmetry. Yeah. Better treatment. Every change should produce one outcome. Positive, okay. Negative, okay. But large batches create additional consequences. Weak attribution, longer detection, multiple interaction, okay. Bundle, negative, okay. Exposure magnitude, Y hybrid received 45%. Values or assumptions, Agile before improvement. Intention was to recognize they might have some product prioritization without. Okay, however, hybrid is not supported. Head start. Okay, there's no justification. Okay, post correction. Okay, the only. Okay, cool. Hybrid can learn to telemetry, but without OKRs, it may optimize measurable local outcomes that are not necessarily okay connected to the business objectives. Why waterfall conversion exceeds hybrid. The first 24 receives excessive Pareto value. Positive outcomes persistent that negative are diluted by batch size and recovery duration. Waterfall cross-sell begins month 6 despite having no telemetry. It should begin month, it should begin month 12. Cross sell is discovered in month 7. Scope is locked. Actually, there's no month 18. No? Yeah, because it gets in month 7, but they have locked scope until month 12, and then after month 12 they build it, and then it starts in month 18. Okay. Core principle: waterfall may contain valuable changes, but the model should represent potential identified. Okay. .okr waterfall. Okay, cool. Propose 24 months. I'll extend the model and build the mechanics around individual change units. Alright, cool. Hybrid, 8 releases, 9 unit per release, no OKRs. Okay. The number of units should be 96. Okay, team synchronized, telemetry grows, corrections I've made, restore, update, replace deterministic, remove hybrid, okay, separate, okay, keep Monte Carlo, show business probability, okay, one decision needed, should use 4 6-month releases or retain 3 releases. So it's 4 releases. All right. All right, let's see what it does. Okay, no further questions. Okay. All right. Give me the new model. So this is the thing with AI. You have to really be careful because it gives you errors. It just gives you errors. Like, what was the reasoning behind? Sorry. What was the reasoning behind this? I don't know. I mean, it was just amazing. Like in Agile, you have 24, but it grows because it's normal to grow. Here in hybrid, like, you have 23. Like, how is hybrid less valuable than waterfall? That's very, very weird. At least based on our assumptions and based on everything that we are building, this should not be. And that's why it gave waterfall a huge boost. I don't know. Is this guy a waterfall guy? Is this it? Is this what we are learning? That ChatGPT is a waterfall guy? I don't know. Maybe it is. Let's see. Anyway, what I believe is that at some point I'll probably have to build it by hand. But anyway, the scaffold is there, so it would have taken me weeks to build this properly. But again, the big issue with this is that I don't have a good understanding of how the model is. I just gave it high-level instructions. I personally don't know the correlations between these um, things. All right, so let's see the README first. All right. So what is the measurable? Okay, measurable business objectives. Telemetry. All right. Currently implemented OKRs, business agility. Okay, accelerated. Okay. Release cadence, direct time to market. All right, cool. Let's see assumptions. 96. Release events. Okay. All right. This is good. This is okay. Telemetry and yes, that's fine. That's fine. Right, positive prior, positive ceiling, neutral prior, learning coefficient. All right, evidence, action rate. Okay, positive relative impact. Okay, negative, fine. Start, hours recovery. Okay, these actually look better. I haven't clicked on the executive summary. I'll just see if okay, these look good. Deployment frequency, yeah. All right. Month 18 for waterfall, yes, that's true. Hybrid month 9, yes. Is it though? Hybrid should be month 12. Agile month. Let's say hybrid month 9. Yeah, because they still do sprints. Agile month 7. Monte Carlo draws. Yes, supports. Fine. Okay, let's see what we have here. Okay, mean. All right, this is a little bit more believable. Okay, so mean avoided loss. Okay, that's true. All right, this model actually did do what I expected it to do. Let's see the conversion rates. Okay, it actually applied a negative conversion rate here, and then damn, it doesn't go positive anymore. That's bad. I think it applied a little bit too much pressure on waterfall. Anyway, all right, it has some negative, it has some positive, it goes, but it doesn't, I mean the conversion rate doesn't move anymore. And it only moves on Agile. I have to ask it. Because it's like previously it bumped waterfall a lot, now it's just only they do move slightly, but they have one decimal formatting hides the most. Fine, but the best size when it moves. Yeah. Okay. Okay. do the changes. What can I say? What can I say? What more can I say? Actually. So, as you can see, when you look through the sheet, you actually find a little bit more about the way it thought of these. Avoided loss is a big factor, I think, in Agile. I think the problem with avoided loss is that it's immaterial. You actually don't see it, but you can only measure it through benchmarks, and that's a tough argument to make in front of the business. Okay, let's see what this looks like now. Okay, release events. Right, these are good. Okay. Don't expect this to change too much. Oof. Damn. Now it's like a lot. Okay, what happened here? Alright, it does go a little bit up, but not that much. And waterfall. Alright, it goes a bit up in hybrid. It steadily flows with every release, while in Agile we have a good stable conversion rate. Again, waterfall doesn't really move that much. Which I don't know. I don't think it's 100% fair. Hybrid. Yeah. This one moves really nicely and healthily. So the cross sell really changed it, but what really changed was the conversion probability. Changed a lot for hybrid and waterfall and agile, but it stayed relatively in the same range for waterfall. What was the reasoning behind this? Okay, are you sure? Stay. All right. So do both modifications. Okay. So again, I'm challenging it because to me it feels a little bit wrong. It just feels a little bit wrong, but maybe I'm just not feeling it. Anyway, this is the last model for this evening. I hope you enjoyed what I'm doing here. So basically these economic models, I think, should be a good foundation for any agile coach to start their work with. So basically that's how you should think about validating your work. Everything that you do should be valid. I mean, it should move an indicator. It should change something in the business. Either you release faster, have more control and more quality in your software releases, or you are better aligned and synchronized, and you work better with people through OKRs, through sprint goals, etc. Nevertheless, it should give you a good outlook on how you're impacting the business. There we go. Yeah, all right. Okay, cool. Let's see where we are. Okay, so the mean got reduced for waterfall a lot. P-10, P10. So percentile, 10th percentile is actually a minus, while P90 is actually a plus. Coefficient variations, there's a huge coefficient variation in waterfall business objective probability. All right, yeah. Mean avoided loss, expected conversions. Okay, where are we here? It actually went lower. Oh my god. This is AI is funny, man. AI is funny. I think I'll need to rework this again. All right. So we have telemetry, fine. somewhat okay here, and this is somewhat okay also. Nobody's gonna believe that, by the way. Nobody's going to believe that waterfall is actually such a bad model. Ugh. Yeah, I'm starting to get tired. That's why. Going to close. All right. Seems like generating this model is a bit more complicated than I thought initially. But basically this is the useful thing that we can definitely do as agile coaches to serve the board, to better serve the board. But we should stay away from extreme statements. All right, so thank you so much for watching. My name is Ovi, and good luck agile coaching your teams, and good luck on changing your organizations. Have a great day. Bye.